At Juniata College, the faculty are not merely authority figures, sharing their wealth of knowledge with students. They are friends as well. The history department is a prime example of this bond of friendship. Students and professors participate in picnics, games of croquet and hall golf, as well as spending evenings at Dr. Tootin's Swamptopia. And according to Dr. Dave Shung, it is all part of the non-monetary wages. In this video, I will examine 5 areas of nonverbal communication that 3 professors of the history department partake in during a rousing game of hall golf. But first, let's meet the members of the history department.
JC History Department!
In this scene, the hole for the round is set in the corner to the right. Dr. David Sowell keeps his gaze locked on the hole. After his putt, his ball veers to the right in the direction of the hole. Notice that as the ball veers, Dr. Sowell's body follows the trajectory. This action would indicate that the leaning motion of Dr. Sowell's body is done in order to influence the path of the golf ball. Of course, it is impossible for Dr. Sowell's body movement to actually have an effect on the ball. However, Charles Darwin explains this as a serviceable action that becomes habitual in association with certain states of mind, and are performed whether or not of service in each particular case. This action gratifies a certain sensation, that being Dr. Sowell wanting to influence the course of the ball, despite the fact that it may not have a direct effect. The combination of spoken language and gestures is the building block of human interaction. More specifically, certain gestures are directly tied to and contribute to the meaning of spoken word. These are called illustrators. Even further, punctuation gestures accent, emphasize, and organize important segments of the discourse. In the case of Dr. Dave Shung, he uses a combination of punctuation gestures and pointing gestures as he refers to the hole and a possible course of action for the next player. This is pointing gesture, for the obvious reason that he is physically pointing to the hole. However, it is also punctuation gesture in the fact that it is indicating a transition in the game and moving from one player's turn to the next. The pointing gesture is emphasized by both Dr. Shung and Dr. Sowell using the golf clubs as an extension of the arm. Just as presenters will use a pointer or a laser, the golf club is used to make the pointing gesture more obvious, as well as make more clear the object being pointed to. In the case of Dr. Sowell, he even uses the golf club to tap the floor in an indicating manner, which allows him not to have to bend down completely, furthering the argument that the golf club is an extension of the arm. Furthermore, gestures can communicate meaning without being accompanied by verbal indicators. Iverson and Meadow in 2005 argue that changes in gesture can predict language. By watching the gestures of Dr. Shung here, with the audio off, it is clear that he is expressing emotions of dissatisfaction and playful anger. The hands raised in the air imply anger, which is amplified by the golf club as an extension of the arm. However, the smile on his face indicates a playfulness to his attitude. As a result, we can predict how Dr. Shung is feeling about missing the hole based on his gesture. Business attire in the workplace is a very important nonverbal indicator. Notice how all 3 professors are dressed very similarly. Each is wearing some variant of the stereotypical male business casual. This standard stems from the social influences of sex-differentiated behavior and are then developed to display otherwise unassertive differences, as stated by Kahley and Cody in 1995. This style of dress can be compared to a uniform of sorts. As long as male business attire consists of some sort of slacks, button-down shirt, and black or brown lace-up shoes, they are all set. Unlike women in the workplace who have to be concerned with too short, too low cut, and are these shoes practical? On another note, the way that the 3 professors are dressed instills a feeling of being relaxed. Dr. Tootin, for example, has his bow tie untied and hanging around his neck, a tradition of his for the end of the workday, and all he has left to do is play hall golf or grade papers. Dr. Sowell takes this casual and relaxed feeling a bit further as he plays without shoes or socks. This barefoot fashion choice is how one will most often find Dr. Sowell, whether it is during a game of hall golf or while teaching. And it only affirms his rebel and hippie nature. In 2009, Cardin and Okoro suggested that characteristics such as friendliness may be projected by more casual business attire, and it is clear by their dress that the professors of the history department are friendly and fun-loving. Hall golf is a very competitive sport, and when one player triumphs over their opponents, it is a wonderful moment. In this instance, Dr. Tootin is the winner of the round, and a clear expression of pride spreads across his face, most plainly in his smirk, when he makes his winning putt. Tracy and Roberts in 2009 affirm that pride has a recognizable expression and can be identified and singled out amongst other positive emotions. Furthermore, Charles Darwin stated, "Of all the complex emotions, pride perhaps is the most plainly expressed." While it is true that a listener cannot always detect personality from vocal cues, there are characteristics that influence perceptions of the speaker. For example, there are certain vocal cues associated with the sexes, and in 1968, an experiment conducted by Addington became one of the most complete studies of how speech patterns contain clues to personality.
He's going for the soft touch.
That was the idea.
Again.
Into the oh.
Notice how the pitch of Dr. Tootin's voice raises when he greets Catherine Blake, the director of the Juniata College Museum of Art. Based on Addington's research, an increased pitch in males indicates a more dynamic and appealing personality. Dr. Tootin's voice sounds more inviting due to the higher pitch, which is more welcoming for someone outside the history department.
Might be too much.
It did bounce back. It did bounce back. It's coming out.
Oh! God.
It was you were
Well,
really
let's see where you
close.
spot. You might get an interesting spot. Going straight, there's really not a lot of break.
No, I think you go straight
Straight
in.
at it and just
Straight in.
hope it'll.
It'll make it go through and it'll bounce out.
Don't let it go through.